Hello, my name is Vansh Agarwal and I am presenting my project of course ELL101. The topic I have chosen is 12 volt DC to 220 volt AC converter. So inverters are often needed at places where it is not possible to get AC supply from the mains. An inverter circuit is used to convert the DC power to AC power. Let's have a look on applications of 12 volt DC to 220 volt AC converter circuit, which we will implement further in the video. This circuit can be used in cars and other vehicles to charge small batteries. Second, this circuit can be used to drive low power AC motors. Third, it can be used in solar power systems. So what is the principle behind this circuit? The basic idea behind every inverter circuit is to produce oscillations using a given DC and apply these oscillations across the primary of the transformer by amplifying the current. This primary voltage is then stepped up to a higher voltage depending upon the number of turns in primary and secondary coils. Have a look at circuit diagram. So we can see a 12 volt. So we can see a 12 volt battery, MOSFETs, transistors, capacitor, resistor, and 12 volt to 220 volt center taped setup transformer. Taking components required, deep look at components required: 12 volt battery, MOSFET, IRF 630, 2N2222 transistor, 2.2 μF capacitor, resistor, and 12 volt to 220 volt center tape setup transformer. So the inverter implemented in this circuit is a square wave inverter and works with devices that do not require pure sine wave AC. And a 12 volt DC to 220 volt AC converter can also be designed using a simple transistors. It can be used to power lamps up to 35 watt but can be made to drive more powerful loads by adding more MOSFETs. Have a look at the working of the circuit. The circuit can be divided into three parts, that is oscillator, amplifier, and transformer. A 50 Hz oscillator is required as the frequency of AC supply is 50 Hz. So have a look at the circuit diagram and we can say that to produce a frequency of 50 Hz by the oscillator can be achieved by instructing an astable multivibrator which produces a square wave of 50 Hz. In this circuit, R1, R2, R3, R4, capacitor C1, capacitor C2, transistor T2, and transistor T3 will form the oscillator. The oscillator part would be produced by them. So each transistor produces inverting square waves. The value of R1, R2, and C1 will decide the frequency, which we need as 50 Hz. The formula of the frequency can be derived. So the inverting signals from the oscillator are amplified by the power MOSFET T1, and T4. These amplified signals are given to the setup transformer with its center tap at 12 volt DC. So as some of the amplification is done through the MOSFET, the turns ratio of the transformer must be 1:19 in order to convert 12 volt to 220 volt. The transformer combines both the inverting signals to generate a 220 volt alternating square wave output. By using a 24 volt battery, loads up to 85 watt can be powered, but the design is inefficient. So to increase the capacity of the inverter, the number of MOSFETs must be increased. So this is how, in a simple manner, we are able to make a 12 volt DC to 220 volt AC converter, which is helpful in many ways. Thank you and thanks for watching.